For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everybody, Brenna here.
And I'm Gabby.
And this is the Mystery of Everything podcast. If we sound different, it's because I'm recording at home for the first time since I had shitty audio. So hopefully this is not shitty audio because now I have a Rodecaster.
And if it is, we have a backup episode we'll just put up and we'll figure out the audio.
Yep. We're doing things. We're making moves. Bog Folklore Part 2. It's the wonderful Groot slang. Side note, I looked up more pictures of him and he is indeed snake-like. I will not upload photos because I love my co-host, but go ahead and give it a goog. You will not be disappointed.
I will not be Googling.
Don't Google it. Speaking of Groot slang, which reminds me of World of Warcraft, because you all seen the image. It literally looks like a World of Warcraft character. We should play together. I don't know how to stream or anything like that, but I'm going to learn. The only game I like to play is World of Warcraft, so we should play it together. I'm pretty sure they have a new expansion coming up called The War Within, and that'll be super fun. I'm not the biggest fan of Dragonflight. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But I really want to get back into playing, and now that I have an office, I can play and not feel like a piece of shit, because I can be like, look at me. Fancy. But yeah, back to our episode. And we need to convince Gabby to play with us as well.
I have too many games on my playlist right now. I've been rotating them.
I've also been thinking about getting back into The Sims too.
You should
do that. I haven't simmed in so long. And my psychiatrist today, I went to the psychiatrist today, everybody. But he was like, what do you do to even out how much you hate your job? And I was like, nothing. And he's like, what do you do on the weekends? I was like, clean. So
I've been telling you that. But I've been telling you that for free. But I've been telling you that for free for like a year.
He's like, you need to do something, anything that is fun because you are making yourself miserable. And he's not wrong. I do.
But I was wrong for a year? Oh, my Lord.
It's probably just because he wears a suit. You just need to wear a suit when you tell me things. And be super nonchalant. And I'll be like, you know what? This girl, she's got it. She got it down. Anywho, what are we going to start with today? Any guesses? Anybody? Gabby?
You said it was snake-like, and I'm looking at it. So the Hydra.
The Hydra. It's actually the Lernaean Hydra. But I'm not, if I am saying it right, I ain't good at saying it. So we're just going to call it the Hydra.
You nailed the pronunciation, but is it different from the regular? Yeah, is it different from the regular Hydra?
No, I think it's all one and the same. This one is just specifically the one in Hercules.
Makes sense.
But what exactly is the Hydra? If it sounds familiar to you, it's because it probably is. Like I said, in Greek and Roman mythology, Hercules killed the Hydra in the swamp near Lake Lerna. So this Hydra was it was a humongous 9-headed water serpent that haunted the swamps of Lerna. 9-headed water serpent. And if you look at the picture of her, I think I put a good picture. And
she's pretty good. Like, not scary at all. Just like...
Yeah. It like vibes. And I like the purple.
Yeah, it's a really good picture. I think it looks like... It doesn't even look like one creature. It looks like... The swamp is just full of sea serpents or swamp serpents.
Yeah, and it looks cool. I'm here for it. I actually kind of like the Hydra. We're going to dive more into it, but I'd say it's a favorite on my list. I just like what it's about, and I want to call it a she, and we'll dive into that in a little bit too. But humongous 9-headed water serpent that haunted the swamps of Lerna. And some variations will say 6 heads. Some say hundreds of heads. For me, I like 9, probably because it reminds me of the 9-headed fox in Naruto, but whatever. Anyways, so you're probably wondering, how did the Hydra support these monstrous heads, right? Is that what you were wondering?
Not really. That's like the last thing I would think to wonder.
Well, I was kind of wondering it. Because at first, whenever I was reading it, I was like, did it look like Fluffy the dog in Harry Potter? You're not a Harry Potter gal, but do you know Fluffy the dog?
Absolutely not. No. Wait,
He's a 3-headed dog.
It was guarding in like the first series, I think in Hogwarts, it was guarding that like tunnel entrance where they were like, don't go there. And then they were like, ha, anyway.
Yeah. They're like, ha, psych, I'm going to go there and I'm going to get caught up. Yeah, Fluffy the dog. But anyways, Fluffy the dog had short, little stubby neck with its 3 heads. But something with 9 heads, you're going to need a long neck or you're not going to have room. So its neck was, I would kind of describe it like a snake. Well, at first I was like a giraffe, but it would make more sense to describe it as a snake because it's a serpent-like creature. It had very long necks, and the heads could coil around each other, or they could sort of fan out to attack from every angle, which is so cool. Like if I'm riding into battle, I want to be riding on a Hydra on one of its many necks. Okay, the necks all joined together as one and formed a big old fat tail that dragged along behind the beast. And again, another variation I've seen says it's not one tail, but multiple tails, or maybe like a forked tail. I like to picture it as one tail, though. It makes me feel better as one tail. I don't know why.
Okay, it's weird that it's like 9 heads and then just like a snake body with a tail. I would think it'd be like, it would need something more to support it.
I want it to have arms. I want it to have arms and legs.
Would each head have 2 arms?
No. In Brenna's mind, she has 2 arms. In Brenna's mind, she's like a dragon, but with a shit ton of heads.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like a dragon. So she's got the 4 arms, but many heads. But in reality, that's not her. She's just a shit ton of heads and then a long body and a tail. But those heads are a lot of weight. So, like, are you using 2 heads as arms to balance yourself? I
think it's just they're snake-like. So they could just move like, each head could move like snakes, but then they all just have to move the back, which is
I still feel
so
like
eerie.
That's a lot to balance. Like, Claudette is my snake. She's very sweet. She's an angel. She's literally an angel. She's staring at me right now. But she can hold herself up pretty high. Like she likes to go to the top of the tank and hang out. She's very nosy and likes to see what's going on. But when it comes to a point, she will get to a tipping point where she just bloop. Like her little body can't hold her weight up anymore. And she just slowly goes, back down.
Oh my gosh.
She's so cute. She was an escape artist when she was little. Now, Gabby, if you ever come over, I have like so many things latched down on top of her tank. She is not getting out. My mom had to cut out a piece of our drywall because Claudette got into the heating ducts. And we knew where she was, so we tried to like cut the drywall to access her. I did get a hold of her, but they're one big muscle. So I was tugging on her, and you can't tug on a snake because you can like literally rip her.
Yeah.
She's so strong, and she was fighting it. Anyways, so how we got Claudette back was I had to literally put a dead mouse in my floor and then turn all the heat off to the house and then put a heating lamp there, and then she came out on her own. Another tangent. Sorry. The question I had, because I find myself repeatedly wanting to refer to the Hydra as a she. She gives me lady vibes. Is it a male or is it a female? Well, the answer I got was half woman. I'll take it. It is believed to be the offspring of the monster Typhon and Echidna, forming a half woman, half serpent creature. For those who don't know, Typhon is a massive serpent-like creature in Greek mythology and happened to be one of the deadliest. And he was the offspring of Gaia and Tartarus.
Oh.
Yeah. I like that. I don't know. I like that. I think it's cool. Like he's one of the deadliest and he's serpent-like. So then he gets together with Echidna and they make this half woman, half serpent hybrid, and she's a bad bitch. She, they, I don't know what to call the Hydra, but I want to call it a she.
Have there been Hydra sightings to give them that belief?
I think it's more of just a Greek mythology thing. I did not see, and not to say that it's not out there. It could be out there. But in my researching, I did not see anything about Hydra sightings. It was mostly about the mythology to the Hydra.
Okay, so it's not like the Groot slang and all of those others where people...
there's not any cool sightings of Hydras that I know of. I mean, there might be, but like some of these things we're going to talk about, me just typing in their name on Google, it was like a video of the blah, blah, blah. And so there's like a gazillion sightings for some of the other things we're going to mention. But for the Hydra, I think it's more of just the legend of her. Okay, so back to the Hydra. One of its heads is supposedly immortal, having venomous breath and blood, and it could breathe out fumes that could kill you or harm you severely. So the blood of the creature dripped with potent venom, and if you came in contact with it, you're probably going to die. So not only do you have these 9 heads coming at you hot, but you also have to worry about it breathing out fumes that kill you. And then let's say you slice it and get a little blood on you, you're dead.
Unkillable. That's so smart.
Unkillable. Well, 1 head is immortal. And then you're like, Brenna, what about all the other heads?
They grow back, right?
They grow back. Yes, you're absolutely right. It has the ability to regenerate its heads, which of course would make it 1,000,000 times harder to kill. So how does one kill a Hydra? According to the wonderful legend of Hercules, Hercules would do the cutting of the heads, the mortal ones. And Iolaus would cauterize the wounds to stop the heads from being able to regenerate. Genius! Cauterization. Who would have thought? Would you look at that? So after cutting off each of its heads, he was eventually able to get the head that was the immortal one. And then he chopped it off, buried it underneath a heavy rock, and the Hydra was defeated for good.
That is a lot of work. Like, it would have to take 2 people. That's a lot of work.
That's why it was one of his, quests. He had many quests to do.
We should do a Hercules episode.
We should. I always loved Hercules when I was little. I'm not done with the Hydra just yet, though. Another question I had is, what made the Hydra so evil? So legend says that from birth, the goddess Hera trained the Hydra to attack and destroy anything it set its sights upon. It would attack entire villages, killing and eating hundreds of people that lived near the swamps of Lake Lerna. Its appetites, of course, didn't stop at people. It would also eat all of the surrounding livestock. So basically, if you couldn't move out of that area, you were fucked. Understandable why they would want Hercules to kill it. It's also said that the deep swamp cave where the Hydra slept is the entrance to the underworld. So it would only leave its lair when it was angry or hungry. And if it wasn't terrorizing local villages, it was resting, which is pleasant. Like, it's either a killing machine or it's just a lazy little snake thing just curled up at the entrance to the underworld, just sleeping away.
Imagine going to the underworld and you're just seeing that. Also, yeah, like Cerberus.
Also what?
Cerberus, I'm pretty sure, was the dog.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
was it like
that.
3-headed dog?
Yep. What's with the 3-headed dogs? So next.
Hey there. Did you know Baker's always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower than low prices? And when you download the Baker's app, you'll enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. And don't forget fuel points to help you save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. Want to save even more? With a Boost membership, you'll get double fuel points and free delivery. So shop and save big at Baker's today. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
I'm Jane Perlez, longtime foreign correspondent and former Beijing bureau chief for the New York Times. I've been a foreign correspondent in lots of places: Somalia, Indonesia, Pakistan. but nowhere as important to the world as China.
I mean, China is not dropping anti-democratic paratroopers into Montana. But of course, we did see things like the weather balloon/spy balloon riveting the whole country for a week.
This is Face Off, an 8-part series in which we'll take you behind the scenes to key moments in the tumultuous US-China relationship. We'll speak with a diplomat, a spy, a tech reporter, a US admiral, even Yo-Yo Ma. Plus, my pal and noted China historian Rana Mitter joins the conversation. We'll look at what's driving the two nations apart and explore whether anything can help bring them back together. Face Off launches April 9th.
Up on our list, Honey Island Swamp Monster. Everybody knows the Honey Island Swamp Monster.
I've
right,
never
Gab?
heard of it. I've never heard of it. This is my first time.
Well, don't you worry, because I'm going to tell you all about it. Those of you listening from Louisiana, you're probably familiar with this creature, so let's hope I do it justice. For those that don't know it, this is as new to me as it is to you. So the Honey Island Swamp Monster has another name, Cajun Sasquatch. And I really like that. In Cajun French, it's called le bête noire. So it looks ape-like, kind of like if we imagine, like what we imagine Bigfoot to look like. And it gets its name from its location, Honey Island Swamp in St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana. But I've also read that it's seen in swamp devils. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming you all from Louisiana know what it is, and I'm assuming it's a place. So if I'm wrong, come at me, but not in an aggressive way, please, because it's been hard. Times have been hard. Coincidentally, these areas are in the buffer zone for the John C. Stennis Space Center, which is a government-protected installation and has minimal contact from the outside world. So what is the creature? We're going to dive into more detail. It walked on 2 legs, looked human-like, and is 7 feet tall, covered entirely in gray hair, has red or yellow eyes, and has a terrible odor. So,
Lovely stuff.
Lovely stuff. We love to see it. It was first seen in 1963 by Harlan Ford, who was a retired air traffic controller turned wildlife photographer. Ford also says he found unusual footprints in the area, and the body of a boar had been gashed open by something nearby. As for the boar, I mean, that could have been anything.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, it could be, I don't know, what would hunt a boar? Boars are pretty aggressive, but
They are super aggressive in their
Something-
hardcore. But let's say, what in Louis, are there bears in Louisiana?
not sure,
Do
but
you
I'm
know?
assuming.
I would like a
'Cause-
bear. A bear would eat a boar.
They have lions, tigers, bears, pack wolves, even large snakes
Yeah.
that can kill them.
Yeah. Okay. So him saying there's gashes on a boar, not necessarily telling me that that's a Bigfoot Honey Island swamp creature.
So yeah, there are bears in Louisiana because they have the black bear, like known populations of the black
Yeah.
bear. So yeah.
Yeah. So Harlan, I support your endeavors, but the boar isn't exactly giving me Honey Island swamp creature. Oh yeah, when he died in 1980, he had a reel of film that supposedly showed the creature, and then it says show below for Gab to look at. This was his reel of film that was found after he died, and I cannot make out a Honey Island swamp creature. I don't know if you can.
That could be anything.
It could literally be anything. It is so grainy, and it could be a bear. It could be a man in a bear suit. Literally, like the possibilities. It could be a fucking tree.
Do you remember the Bigfoot video that they enhanced and
Yes.
found out it was just some dude in a suit? It's very much giving some dude in a suit.
It is giving some man just fucking trolling in the 80s. He is trolling so hard.
Like literally, or it could have been the bear that just killed the boar. It could be
It could have been a
anything.
bear. It could be anything. It don't even look like it could be just a blur of a tree to me. And I'd say my eyesight's pretty decent. It's not giving swamp creature. And I will put that on Instagram for you all to see.
Don't forget this time.
Oh, I did forget last time in my patrons, Patreoners, Mysterians, mysteries, my friends, my companions. You all did remind me, which thank you. You all are very kind. Very sweet. A sweet crowd. Side note, we got 70 of you all now, which is so wonderful. Keep it coming. We love the conversation. And it's super weird. It's a little deja vu lately because you all are like, hey, Brenna, we need to do a thing on dowsing rods. Guess who just bought dowsing rods off Amazon for her birthday? I did. And then one of you all was like, hey, you all need to do an episode on blah, blah, blah. Guess who did an episode on blah, blah, blah recently? Gab did. It's like,
What is blah, blah, blah?
I don't want to say it because it's like a surprise.
Oh,
well, they listed. Oh, then you can say it if you want.
Oh, it's the Mary Celeste. It's going up on Patreon next week.
Yeah, and someone literally yesterday was like, you all should do an episode on Mary Celeste. Boom. Already done. That's a good episode, too. If you all want to hear it, you know what to do. But we'll give you that spiel at the end of the episode, though. I need to get back into this. So there are apparently footprints from the creature that show 4 toes. And they have it like in plaster. But again, like there's footprints from Bigfoot. There's footprints from everything. So that doesn't have me sold. Scientists that are more familiar with the land in the area say that the creature does not exist, or at least it's very unlikely. There's an ecologist named Paul Wagner who is in the area who says there is 0 valid evidence beyond potential forgeries to show its existence. And then I added in this little picture here, which is apparently a rendition of the Honey Island swamp creature, which literally looks just like Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's literally just Bigfoot.
It's Bigfoot.
Okay,
it is
so
Bigfoot.
Did someone just make like a forgery of the footprints though?
That's what Paul seems to think is. Because, there's like supposedly Bigfoot footprints that are saved in plaster.
That is dedication to the troll. I love it. Keep that up.
I believe it. I do believe it. Or it could be anything. Like, I mean, they genuinely could be like, this is a footprint. But then it could just be a series of rocks that fell in a particular way. And I'm normally the one who's like, no, that's fucking Bigfoot. But
we should get Aiden on the podcast to do from the Lore Lodge to do an episode on Bigfoot with you. I would pay.
That would be so much fun.
Okay.
That would be a lot of fun. But he knows so much and I know so little. That's why it would be fun. He could educate me.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it'd be a good time. I love folklore. Folklore is the fun shit for me. Another tangent. I was telling my psychiatrist about our recent podcast episodes. And I was like, yeah, I did one on, foreign accent syndrome. And he's like, you don't sound excited about that. And I'm like, well, I mean, it was fun. It was a very educational episode. And I do enjoy it. But shit like this is happy place.
Jam. Your jam.
This is my jam. Folklore is my jam. Science is also my jam, don't get me wrong. But something about the mystical. So this creature is still thought to be alive today in the bayous near Pearl River. Apparently there's a local tale that says there was a train crash that happened near the swamp in the early 20th century. And a traveling circus lost some chimpanzees. So then these chimpanzees, of course, adapted to their environment, much like humans with evolution. And boom, now we have the Honey Island swamp monster, and the rest is history.
It would be funny if it's just some chimpanzees hanging around.
Just doing monkey things. Like they ain't even, it ain't even like a Planet of the Apes type thing. They're literally just vibing and people are like, oh, that's a monster.
I could definitely see that happening.
I think that is the most likely. And that's even far-fetched, like a traveling circus train wrecked and then some chimps got loose. But that's the story that I'm going with that I think is the most logical.
Because it's either that or it's Bigfoot. And then we're going to have to talk about Bigfoot because all of the pictures.
I do believe in Bigfoot, though. You all have heard me say it before. when I was little, I saw Bigfoot when I was little. Me and
I
Emily Woodrum did.
I love that you've not even done an episode on Bigfoot. We have to I'll ask Aiden if he'll do it with
Well,
you,
I
just
swear he
because.
ain't like that cool. We just seen him. He was just there. It's not like we ran. We were like, there's some rustling in the trees. It's Bigfoot.
And then it was
We-
just Bigfoot.
Yeah, we thought we saw. I'm gonna say we saw Bigfoot. I don't know what I saw, but that's only because I don't have much of a memory. But younger Brenna was like, I fucking saw Bigfoot, and I believe her. Next up on our list, any guesses? Not you, Gab, because you can read it. Podcast listeners, I'm going to give you a few seconds for you to guess. Wrong. It's the skunk ape. I bet you didn't guess the skunk ape.
I don't think anybody guessed the skunk ape because what? What?
So I didn't even this is a short one. The skunk ape is short, and you want to know why? It's because it bears a very strong resemblance to the Honey Island swamp monster to me, and I feel it in my bones that it's the same creature. The skunk ape is the Honey Island swamp monster. And I bet you're like, Brenna, why? Well, I'm going to tell you. So, it's a horrible smelling, very large ape-like creature that lives in swamps in southeastern United States. Sounds familiar, right?
Sounds
It's
exactly.
big. It sounds exactly. It's big. It's hairy. It's human-like. It walks on two legs. But a difference is it's most notably found in Florida, which differs from our dear friend, the Honey Island swamp monster found in Louisiana.
So, you know how like you'll find a salamander in Kentucky, but you'll also find a salamander in Tennessee, but it's still a salamander. It just has a range.
Just has a slight variation.
Right? So, I don't want to be too scientific, but theoretically.
But if it is, let's say that these creatures do exist, they're the same.
They just have a range of where they would be.
Like they're all salamanders.
Like it could be a southern two-line or a hellbender salamander, still a salamander. And then you add Bigfoot in there, you just got the whole family of
and then you could
monsters.
even go as far as to talk about Yetis, but we're not doing that. We're not going as far as to talk about Yetis. I don't have anything prepared for you all for Yetis. Oh, shit. So, yeah, found in Florida. And I want to add in that it is also found in Georgia and Alabama, too. But mostly in Florida. So, yeah.
So what was I just saying? It has a range.
He's everywhere. Well, not he. I imagine there has to be females for it to be carrying it on. And again, I'm not going into much detail about this guy. When I tell you the details are almost identical, I mean it. 7 feet tall. Sounds familiar. This one does have reddish, brownish hair in contrary to the gray hair, but that is literally the only difference. It says they both have a smell to them. 7 feet tall, walk on two legs. They're the same creature. You can't tell me otherwise. They probably just have a little variation. There are also sightings of this guy, questionable photographs, footprint casings, same stuff we discussed previously. Now, in 1818, there was a local newspaper that reported a story from the area of Apalachicola, Florida, and stated the existence of a man-sized monkey that was raiding the grocery stores and stalking fishermen on the shore. Fucking love that. I love that. There are also many allegations, like alleged sightings of the skunk ape, and they date all the way back to 1929 to recent years, like 2010. So many of them, too many of them for me to even begin listing them all. Gab, do you believe in the skunk ape?
So the picture that I'm looking at
looks like a monkey.
Yeah. It's very much like giving great ape.
If
so
you Google
I don't
skunk ape, that's the picture that they have for it.
Like, I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
That's
I'm
a fucking orangutan.
This right here is a man.
An orangutan.
Yeah, it's either that or some dude in a suit
But look at the eyes.
But it's like
And
a really convincing suit.
The eyes are from a flash. That's from the flash of a camera. Those eyes aren't actually glowing.
This is just, I don't know. Not from this photo.
Not from this photo, no. But I do think if they do exist, and I do believe in Bigfoot mostly because I live in Kentucky, I've seen it. So I think most likely it's just different variations of the same species found throughout different states. I wonder if they have like the ability to disappear, because how have we not found one of their dead bodies? How? One might say, Britta, they're not real.
I didn't say. I'm just saying, you can answer that. You're the expert.
They are real. They decompose so fast.
Immediate.
And their bones disintegrate. Poof.
Yes.
Yep.
I love it when the bones disintegrate.
It happens more than you would think. It doesn't happen. All right, next up on our list, we're moving right along. The prime hook swamp creature.
That sounds terrifying. Is there a hook involved?
No. Oh. No, it's just the location. So this being, we're switching it up a little bit from our snakes and our Bigfoots. We're going dog. This is a dog-like creature that has been spotted in the Prime Hook National Wildlife Refuge in Delaware. And I couldn't find a picture of him, but that's neither here nor there. The Prime Hook National Wildlife Refuge in Delaware is actually a bird sanctuary. And it's got a variety of habitats ranging from freshwater, saltwater marshes, ponds, grasslands, woodlands, you name it. Side note, you can actually find supposed videos of this guy when Googling. It's like I couldn't find a picture, but I did see a million videos pop up when I typed in his name, like, oh, Prime Hook swamp creature sighting. If you all want to look at those and be like, Brenna, it's there, then I'll believe you without any proof or evidence. I used my handy dandy snipping tool to show you on the map whereabouts this creature can supposedly be found. I'll put it on Instagram. Gabby, if you want to see it, you can do a little scroll down and you will find it.
We can go there.
That would be fun. Ooh, and maybe I'll see it. Because this one, like, I know I said the Hydra was my favorite, but this one's my favorite. I like this one. And you all are you're gonna love it too when I continue to discuss him. So this creature is about 2.5 to 3 feet tall. Just picture the cuteness. It's got long, slender legs, a light brown body, and a smushed pug-like face with little tiny ears and a long tail. Is that not the cutest shit you've ever heard of?
Was it somebody's stray pug? Like
stray pug just walking around.
They lost him and he just lives there now.
Bless his sweet little heart. It sounds cute and I want to snuggle it. So
let's go find it.
It's apparently a little tiny guy, only 30 pounds, which again is a good switch up from our past monsters we've looked at today. And I wouldn't even call this guy a monster. It's just a little guy. He's just a little guy in a big world doing little guy things. So there was a Reddit user named Helen J who was cruising along during dusk one evening in July of 2007, and she noticed out of nowhere a strange creature on the side of the road by the swamp. She had her daughter with her also, so 2 witnesses. And years before, Helen's other daughter that was not with her at this point in time, claims to have witnessed something like this. But anyways, the creature was small, tan, long, skinny legs, and a flat face. So Helen asked around, and apparently the creature has been seen a lot in the area.
So you know how when people get deformed puppies, they dump them?
Oh, Gabby.
That's kind of all I could think about, because you see all of these people rescuing all these deformed puppies that don't even look like puppies.
No, some of them look like a wild, which I think they look cute, and I'm here for it, and I love them. But some of them, I'm like, damn.
So for this one, as cute as it is, or evil as it may be, I feel like somebody dumped a puppy, and now I really feel bad.
Yeah, now we're going to have to go there, find it, take it home.
That's what I said, but you didn't bring me the Great Pyrenees dog. So,
Because you said Steve said no.
so when has
If
that
I-
ever stopped me?
I did genuinely think she probably belonged to a household in the area, but then my meemaw told me that she thinks she got dumped there. I bet she's still there, though. We can do a drive-by next time you and Steve are fighting, just bloop.
That's not what drive-by means. It's not what drive-by means.
We can do a little drive-by pickup.
Oh my gosh.
Shit. You knew what I meant. I didn't mean drive by and shoot her. Put her out of her fucking misery. Like, no, she's the baby.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Back to the little tiny guy. So some people think that the animal in question isn't a little guy doing little guy things. I do. I'm not some people, though. But they think it's a deformed coyote or a caracal cat. But it's a cat that's a bigger cat, essentially. Or a deformed coyote. What else could it be, Brenna? I'll tell you. Some people think it's a wolverine. They weigh about the same, standing at 1.5 feet tall. Kind of fits the description. Except wolverines look fucking evil. I pictured this little guy looking cute. No one told me it looked cute. I just kind of think it would.
Smushed face means cute. That's just
Pug-like smushed face means cute. I don't make the rules.
That's scientific fact.
There are scientific studies that tell me a smushed face. No, there's not. There's not. There could be. There's scientific studies. If you listen to that one episode we did that say that we like round faces and it's why we like babies and that's why we take care of them. We're more likely to take care of cute faces. But it didn't say anything about pug faces. What else could it be, Brenna? Another thing, a devil monkey, which is another type of cryptid. I don't think it's a devil monkey. It could also be some type of animal that is suffering from a condition called short spine syndrome, which would be so fucking sad. But alas, we will never know. I didn't find any pictures. I wrote in this no drawings, but if you Google the animal, you will find someone's. I don't want to be mean in case they're listening. It's shit. It's just a little. No, they know it's shit unless it's their 5-year-old, and then it looks good. If their 5-year-old did draw it, then it's good for a 5-year-old. Joya draws way better than this drawing that I found whenever I Googled it. Anyways, couldn't find any picture of it, but I did put a picture of a little guy. Look at that little pug guy.
See, I'm telling you, it has to be like one of those deformed animals or somebody threw a dog out and now it just lives there, which is super sad.
Well, we're going to go find this dog. And unlike Helen J, we're going to stop. And we're going to put it in our car.
It sounds like us, actually. That's
Yep.
how we die. It's okay.
That's how we die. Some might say that's a white woman thing.
Good thing I'm not white. So
Well, your best friend is.
we're going to
So
blame you.
I will pick up stray animals on the side of the road.
Then we're going to be on one of those podcasts where they're like, all of them are talking, and this is why you don't associate with those white women. And it's gonna be worse.
you and me. And they're gonna be like, Gabby had such a promising life ahead of her until she became friends with Brenna. And then it's gonna be like, and she was the light of the room.
Oh
God,
you
liars! You never want to be the light of the room. I seen that on a video somewhere. No, it was a comedian. I seen a comedian the other day doing stand up, and he was like, "You never want to be the light of the room because you will die." On every Dateline episode, they're like, "She lit up the room,"
and that's why I'm terrible. That's why I'm like the light sucker outer of the room.
And that's why we're going to live forever. Knock on wood, just in case. The irony. If I go tomorrow and then this gets released, you still have to release it if I go tomorrow.
I got you.
Okay. back to the episode. This is the ending, but I do want to have an honorable mention that I did not include, but I did mention it in the last episode in part 1, and it was the Lizard Man of Scape or Swamp, and I said I was going to cover that, and you're like, Brenna, you didn't, and you're right, I didn't. Reason I did not include it is it was found to be the subject of a hoax in South Carolina in the late 1980s. So we don't do fake news here, bitch. I'm just kidding. And I don't remember if I've ever told you all the story about me putting a paralyzed squirrel in my car. Gabby, do you remember if I've told the story?
I don't remember.
Well, I'll just tell it to you in case there's any new guys here. Exhibit A of why I shouldn't be trusted. Anyways, I used to go to EKU for school. And I was driving home one day and I watched a squirrel get hit in front of my eyeballs. I watched her get hit. It was a female, I found out later. So she gets hit and then she lands in this iPlace parking lot. But she lands in the entrance where if someone were to pull into this iPlace parking lot, they would hit her a second time. And she didn't look flattened. She just looked scared. So what do? Because I'm an idiot. I turn around and I pull into this iPlace parking lot and she is alive. She is breathing very hard and she's scared and she's not flattened. So, of course, I'm like, I'm going to take her to a vet. So I wrap her up in a towel and I put her in my lap and I get back in the car and I start driving. I'm calling vets' offices. They're all like, girl, we're not going to take a squirrel. Are you out of your mind? Rightfully so. So I start driving and I get about to the Ollie's parking lot and she decides to come back to life in my lap and starts fucking crawling up my arm while I'm driving on a main highway in Richmond, Kentucky. And I was scared for my fucking life. So I pull into Ollie's, I open my car door and I'm like, ah! And kind of do a little shaky shake. And she jumps down. She hops off me into the parking lot. Now I'm like, I'm a fucking asshole. Because now she's in a parking lot and surrounded. No, there's no trees around. There's no nothing. Not only that, she's paralyzed from the waist down. And she's crawling with intense speed around vehicles. She's fucking zooming it. So I start crying. Because, I'm like, not only she just got hit. And now I took her away from like trees and grass and brought her to Ollie's parking lot. So yeah. So I am looking under people's vehicles in this parking lot, trying to coax her out from under their vehicles. And I guess people saw me and thought I was crazy because I'm hysterically crying at this point in time, looking under cars. So I'm just, calling for the squirrel. And I get surrounded by like 3 police cars and a fucking ambulance all surround me. And they get out and they're like, ma'am, someone's called the police on you and they say you're hysterical. We're just coming to check on you to make sure you're okay. Like mentally, what's going on? You're surrounding their vehicle. They don't want to come outside. So I'm crying and I tell these guys like, there's a squirrel under this car. She's paralyzed from the waist down. I'm trying to catch her. Like I gotta save her life. And then they're like, okay. And then they all leave. They don't try to help me catch said squirrel. They just fucking leave. Roll out. And I'm still in the parking lot, still crying with this fucking squirrel. So I call multiple wildlife sanctuary places in the area. And one of them is like, I can't help you, but I got a squirrel guy. Because this is Kentucky. And everybody has a squirrel guy. She's like, he will help you for the low price of $30. I didn't have $30 on me at that point in time. So I call Squirrel Man. He's like, give me your location. Well, his wife answered and he was out mowing the yard. She was like, I'll go get him, honey. Got him. They went to my location. While he was catching squirrel, I went to an ATM and got $30 out. He had one of those little things that go around their necks, not in a like aggressive way, but to catch her. He did catch her. And he told me that he, and the little vet's place told me that he has like a squirrel sanctuary. He takes care of a cemetery. And he just releases all the squirrels there and feeds them. Everyone else is like, Bruna, he fucking ate that squirrel. I don't think he did. I like to think that he took her to a sanctuary and fed her and loved her. But he did. So, anyways, the exchanges were made. He took Squirrel. He went back home. He did call me 2-3 weeks later and was like, she's doing good. She actually got use of her back legs back. And he was like, that can sometimes happen spontaneously. It's like a shock thing that happens to him. Maybe some swelling from where she got hit. But when the swelling subsides, she got use of her legs back. She's running around. She's just doing all the little things that squirrels do. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. She's alive and thriving in a cemetery, getting fed little nuts. He's feeding her nuts and stuff, and she's fine. Moral of that story was: do not turn around and go back for a squirrel so he can come to life in your lap and crawl up your fucking arm. It's a wonder I didn't get bit and have to get a rabies shot.
I don't think anybody was going back for a squirrel, but I'm glad you did, because in my mind, hearing that, I'm like, she's making it up. There ain't no way.
No,
but I know you. But I
I'm
know
not.
you. And I'm like, nope, she did this.
Guys, if you know me, like I had a pet possum, raised a pet possum, litter box trained him. His name was Skeeter. I will show you. Now that he's dead, I can show you all pictures because he can't get taken away from me because you can't have a pet possum in Kentucky. Sorry, this is the end of the episode, so I'm allowed to go on a tangent. But whenever I was younger, we had field day. Side note, I have an idea to have an adult field day. How fun would that be? We all do like the wheelbarrow race and stuff. We should all get together. All of our listeners do an adult field day. But whenever I was little, Jake Atwood, sorry if you don't want me to use your name, Jake, I'm doing it. But his daddy had a pet squirrel, and he would bring it to field day, and the squirrel would hop around on all of our shoulders. And we all loved that shit. Yeah. That's all I have to say. That's the episode. Write us in some stuff that you want us to write about.
And make sure to subscribe to Patreon if you want. And if not,
You can do it for free.
yeah, I think you can actually. There's like a free tier.
We have free listeners. You can talk to us. You won't get to hear some cool episodes. You won't get to hear Mary Celeste. And I bet you want to.
But make sure to leave us a review.
You can leave like a little constructive criticism. We're all for that, but don't be like, these girls are fucking dumb. Don't do that. Or don't say, no, I'm not gonna repeat what they say because it's not nice. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Yeah, if you see some cool cryptid shit, record it and send it to me. And
Bye. Oh,
that's all I got.
bye.
Bye.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.